We want to build the #1 international baseball league.
Oh, what a catch! What a catch, baby!
Like I said, I feel blessed.
The pitcher grabbed by Schlitter goes for the force of the plate.
Ground ball, double play, game over. Wow!
This is a money ball, gentlemen, and this. Money ball!
Back at it with the Baseball United podcast, and it's an exciting time here in the Baseball United universe as we have just recently announced another marquee event coming up February 14th to 16th at the Baseball United ballpark, and that is the UAE Series, which will be the first time our professional franchises are on the ground in the Middle East. And joining me today to discuss his career and preview the UAE Series, none other than the Arabia Wolves outfielder, Courtney Hawkins. Courtney, it's great to see you, bro. How's everything been going?
Doing well. Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Of course, man. So I want to get into everything. I want to get into your experience with BU, but let's just start from the top with your baseball career. So you were drafted 13th overall in the 2012 draft by the Chicago White Sox. You were also named Gatorade Player of the Year that year. What was it like for you, Courtney, to kind of take on that pressure and that type of notoriety at such a young age?
Honestly, man, it kind of grew up just enjoying it. It didn't really bother me too much. It was something that just came with the territory.
Did you feel that transitioning into professional baseball, Courtney, obviously you're a high draft pick. I'm assuming you probably became one of the organization's, if not the organization's top prospect at the time. Did you feel any added pressure being such a high draft pick entering professional baseball?
At first, going in, not really. As once you got into the mix and started seeing all the levels of understanding the side of professional baseball, a little bit. It started kind of getting to you, start trying to force things. And again, you're young, you're trying to get there. You start hearing people talk. So you get into a you get to the part where you just force every single little thing, thinking that you can control things, which you can't.
When you're talking about forcing things, Courtney, are you talking specifically about like when you're in the batter's box, when you're in the field, or is it off-field stuff too?
More in the batter's box and game stuff, thinking that you have to have a hit every time or a homer or got to steal this bag, got to throw this person out. Instead of just playing the game, understanding that things are going to come.
I think that's an interesting predicament that young players have to go through and kind of make the adjustment as they're playing professional baseball to kind of realize that you don't have to go 5 for 5 every single game. Clearly you want to, obviously that's always the goal,
Right.
but I've always thought that that's one of the biggest hurdles young players have to go through as they enter pro ball.
100%, without a doubt. The quicker you can understand, you just got to play your game, and you got there for a reason, and you take bits and pieces from everybody, right? Like sometimes being too coachable can hurt you too. I don't want that to come off the wrong way, but you want to listen to anybody and everybody and not understanding or thinking that person's going to get you there can hurt you, right? Rather than learning for yourself as well and researching things and truly trying to understand what it is that somebody's trying to get you to do or what the goal is. So just, again, that comes with age, that comes with time. You got to take bits and pieces from everybody
Yeah,
and
Courtney,
understand what they mean.
yeah. Did you have a specific kind of, let's say, mentor as you entered the White Sox organization, or did that kind of evolve over time? And as you mentioned, maybe it was multiple guys as you ascended through the levels.
I would say it's a lot of people. Like I said, it's that bits and pieces from everybody. Buddy Bell was a huge one. I mean, even Kenny Williams, even though he was higher up, conversations we had were there. Gary Ward, Bo Jackson. You name it. Like people that came through in the conversations that were had. Like you can take and say tons of people were. Is there one that stands out? There's a few that stand out more than others. I mean, Pete Rose was my first manager, right? Pete Rose Jr. So he helped me learn the ropes just getting in. But it was bits and pieces from everybody, man. It's learning and the good from the good, the bad from the bad. Even managers or people that I did not like, right? Looking back at it, there were really good things that I took from them, and things that helped me in my career because of them. Whether it was learn how to like ignore certain things and not let it get to me, or if it was having to push through just to try to prove somebody wrong, right? It just from the good, bad, ugly, didn't matter. Like there was something now that I look back at it that helped me.
Being such at such a young age in professional baseball, Courtney, the off-field noise has to be also another big hurdle that you guys have to face. How are you able to kind of just, especially this day and age in social media, everybody's a reporter, everybody has an opinion, and maybe you're a guy who doesn't really check social media, doesn't read the comments. I know some guys are, some guys aren't. Where do you fall on that list, and how would you deal with that kind of criticism?
Social media is gonna make it seem like I'm old, and I'm 30. I'm 31, right? Just turned 31. But even when I was drafted, social media was they talk about, oh, it's a big thing. It wasn't there in my day, but from 2012 to even now, it's night and day. Like it's even more so now.
Oh yeah.
But coming in, did I read the hype? Absolutely. I was on Twitter. Every person that talked bad about me, I was writing the name down. Like, yep, this dude come to me, don't talk to me. Oh, this guy try to talk to me. Nope, you're fake. Like I was on there. As I got older, as stuff developed, you start hearing, seeing different things. It helped me understand who to be careful around because you know what type of stories they were going to try to put out or what they were going to try to get out, their content that they put out, what they look for, right? Doing that as far as like seeing the type of content those type of reporters or people put out helped me understand what to say around them, what not to, if I was going to talk to them, right? And how to
Mhm.
play the game. But just like I said, the Twitter stuff, first couple years, it was like pissed or trying to prove some random person wrong. You're reading what they're saying on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Don't know who in the hell this person is, right? But you're sitting there trying to prove them wrong.
Right. Speaks to the
Everybody's gonna
competitor in
talk,
you. Yeah.
right? Like now, I can give two shits,
Yeah.
right? Like it doesn't bother me, right? it is what it is. Everybody's gonna love you, hate you, it doesn't matter. You get older, you start realizing like you have your family, you have the people in your circle that matter. And when you start getting your circle and that family, you actually hear Cash talk about a lot, like your circle, and that's his family, right?
Yep.
What he's putting together. You don't really worry about other people or other things. Like you have your circle and your people that you rock with, and you roll, and all those people have one goal and same mindsets and drive, and just they're hungry. You get around people like that and understand those are the type of people that you can mesh with. At least that's for me.
Mhm.
Um, those type of people I want to be around. Those are people that actually matter in my circle,
Right. People that fill your bucket, so to speak. I don't know if you've heard that
100%.
expression. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all that matters, bro. So, Courtney, you're in the White Sox organization for about 6.5 years. You're granted your release. You bounce around a couple teams, then you head over to the independent leagues for a little bit. So, I want to talk to you about your 2022 with the Lexington Legends in the independent leagues. You essentially became the second coming of Barry Bonds. So, I want to talk about just the details of your swing and what kind of how you put that season together, because you hit, I believe you tied the record, 48 home runs in a season that was set by Ozzie Canseco, the long-standing record for over 2 decades. So when you got there, what came together for you?
Goes back to digging deep, understanding your swing, doing research. Before it was just whatever people tell me to do, I was going to do, right? Trying to find any little thing. Over the years, after being released, honestly, Donnie Eckert was one that stuff started like really turning for me. When I got with the Reds when he was there, making me understand how the body moves, understanding pitch trajectory, like swing angle, just understanding how to match path, right? How to be on path a long time, how to hit certain pitches, how to get to certain pitches, how to put my body in position to get there. Then just understanding what I'm capable of doing. Honestly, the year before, I feel like if I don't get hurt, I would have had more than that, right?
Mhm.
Like it didn't, nothing phased me after that. Like once I understood my swing path and how to get on path, how the body works, fastballs can't beat me, right? Breaking balls, I set my sights at like just understanding my plan. I didn't go up there panicking for anything. I don't care what you threw. I could adjust. My misses were home runs. Then some of my best swings were line drives in the gap, right? Like it was easy. I set my like my stuff was tunneled in, and it was just understanding baseball is hard. I don't care if I'm 0 for 4 one day, 0 for 5 one day. Like you got to get me out the next day, right? I don't care if I went 0 or I got struck out the bat before. You got to get me again.
Mhm.
I have 4 strikeouts. You're going home really happy, like, damn, I got him. You got to see me tomorrow, right? Or you got to see me in a couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever it might be. When I started getting to that point, it didn't bother me. Like, I'm in the box, confident, praying you throw anything around the plate.
Mhm. It
When
has
I
to
was
be
younger,
such. Yeah.
it wasn't like that. I was younger, I strike out. It was like, don't strike out again.
Mhm.
Strike out again. Don't strike out again. Right? Like, I started worrying about striking out or going into I stopped worrying about trying to force things. If I square the ball up, that's a win for me. You don't want to pitch to me, that's fine. Like my own base is going up
Mhm.
and the guy behind me is going to drive me in. I did not care about forcing hits. I would take my walks. I'll see pitches. I knew that you had to come to me or I take my base. Younger? No. I don't want to walk. I want to hit. I don't want a ground ball. I don't want a cheap hit. Like, no. I'm worried about squaring the ball up. If I line out, I don't care. If I'm 0 for 4 with 4 lineouts, I'm all right. I'm coming back
Yep.
tomorrow good.
It's interesting to me, Courtney, to hear you talk about kind of the the evolution of your maturity as a baseball player and kind of how the definition of success looks different throughout that evolution.
For sure. And it's taking a while because, again, I've been to that point where I was having one bad at bat, coming in, snapping bats over my leg, breaking bats, going in the tunnel, screaming. Like, I think a lot of people have been there, right?
Definitely.
Um, but when you have enough confidence to know like you can get it back, like I got myself out. If somebody did get me out, it was like really good pitching. I'll say it was like fine. Like I couldn't see that. I didn't pick that up. It
Yep.
is what
Game
it is.
recognized game.
Yeah, like I don't want to see him again.
Yep.
Like another pitcher's coming in. He had 1 inning. Next at bat, you're screwed. He can't stay in that many innings. Like it's a wrap. Yeah, it's got to a point where you understand what you can do.
Courtney, what impact, if any, did Brandon Phillips have on your career, especially during that time?
B. Phillips, that dude, he even PJ's brother, right? Like
Hmm.
it goes back to this that indie ball feel of have fun. But with him, he understood the game, especially on the defensive side, right? Like everybody knows before his glove. But it was having fun, understanding the game, understanding how to do things, how to take care of people. On that aspect on the baseball side, it was there. And again, I got with him when I'm later in my career. Playing against him when I was younger, right? Different. Older, later in my career, right? Playing with him, I kind of already had that understanding of how I'm going to carry myself and not going to let anybody else dictate how I carry myself. So it was easy. All right, like joke around, play around. You'll see us laugh on the field nonstop, clowning. It's what it was. He's
That's
actually the
great.
reason why I decided to shave my head.
Oh yeah?
If you ever, oh, 100%. If you ever been around Brandon, you
No, I
can't give
haven't.
him anything to let him talk about you. It doesn't matter what it is. If there's any little thing, oh, he's gonna wear it out and he won't stop. So day one I get there, my hairline was receding. I'm like, okay, whatever. I still had hair. Day one I start seeing him screaming. Oh Lord. I was like, nah, I'm not going through months with this and hearing that every day. Hit a homer. Oh, let me see the legs. No, 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 no. I'm not. Next day, next day I came clean shaved. He just looked at me just, all right,
Good move.
I got nothing to say.
You
He
weren't
said,
giving
kiss
him
the
nothing,
baby
huh?
head. Nothing. He's just like, kiss the baby head. That's it. That was the first time I went bald because of that.
I love it, man. I love it. So, Courtney, you've also played a little bit in Mexico. You've played a little bit in Japan. Obviously, you participated in the showcase in Dubai in 2023. So, a journeyman player like yourself, you must have, I have to imagine, you must have jumped at the opportunity to join our league and play in Dubai. So, how did this all come about? When did you first hear about our league, and how did you first get involved?
I reached out to Lark
Okay.
after I heard about it, right? Because I was around him with the Reds as well. I live in Austin, right?
Yep.
Cash went to UT. We're connected with a lot of people. Some of my best friends are his best friends, and it's the circle is small, like I said, right?
Right.
People that I'm with every Saturday in the off season, who I'm going to football games with or hanging out with, are some of his dear friends and classmates, everything, right? So
Hmm.
I don't know if it was talking over the years on things that were coming up. I don't know if it was, it had to be. I want to say it was that,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's so many people that are involved that are connected, from Eddie Diaz to Cash, Lark. Just, I mean, there's a lot of people that
Hmm.
are connected. I want to say it was that, to be honest. And just
Sounds like it just kind of happened organically over time. Like
for
you
sure,
guys had mutual friends, and then one thing led to another, kind of thing, right?
100%. And again, it's that circle, right? Like knowing people, being in the right place, helping how you can.
Courtney, you've mentioned Cash a couple of times. I think when you take his leadership and everything he's accomplished in his career, and you pair it with our co-owners, Hall of Famers, All Stars, some of the best to ever play the game, players who have made such an immense impact on this game that will live on for years to come. I think it's a perfect recipe for success for the future of this league. What do you think?
Without a doubt. It goes back to putting people in your circle that have that same end goal or mindset or like vision with you, right? Like he has a vision. He wants other people to see and hear his vision. And if you're on board with it, let's maximize it. You bring in people that can fit different pieces in your bubble. You got somebody that's connected that can do this. You bring somebody else in that's in your bubble that's connected that can do this, right? And all of a sudden you just start, like you said, filling that bucket up with people in your inner circle and you just start feeling it. And by the time, hopefully, when it's done, you have a large group of people all pulling on that same rope, same vision to maximize and grow this thing to its full potential, right? Everybody has ideas, everybody has and knows different people. That's how businesses, everything get rolling and booming, right? Bring in people, everybody has their own connects and grow this thing.
Right. I think it's so important, Courtney, obviously, to have the backing of these legends lends a ton of credibility to our league. And like I said earlier, when you pair that with Cash's business prowess, it makes me excited for the future of the league, just knowing that honestly the future of the sport is in such great hands.
Without a doubt, it's still growing. As big as it is, and it's again a worldwide game, right?
Hmm.
This shows you still parts of this world that it can be maximized in and developed in and grown in. Let kids be a part of it, right? Like, yes, we're doing baseball Dubai, but I know for a fact that he's trying to grow the youth out there too,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's one
right?
of our
Like people
biggest
don't talk
initiatives
about
here.
that, right?
Yep.
People aren't seeing that. They see, like you said, all these big names and all these big time people. Yeah, like that's great. We're all going over there to play, but there's a bigger goal with starting from the youth side and getting the youth to be involved to grow it.
Right.
Having us going over is one thing, but to get the people who are there, to get the natives and everybody who was in that area throughout the UAE, Pakistan, India, all of it, right? To get the youth and grow and build it up. You do that, it's going to take off.
Right. We talk about it all the time on this show, Courtney. The grassroots initiatives are so important, integral, and crucial to our growth as an organization and obviously just the growth of prospects in that region.
100%.
So, Courtney, what does it mean to you to be one of the first players to kind of introduce the sport to that region?
It's huge. Being the first to do anything, being the first to be a part of anything is something you can look back on and say, I was there, like I helped. I don't care what it is, whether it's again starting a professional baseball league, starting softball on the women's side of things, being able to say you helped start something and help develop it and just have some type of skin in the game on it, right?
Hmm.
It's huge. I don't know what's better than that. For me, I'm not the type of person that is gonna hop into something that's already been there, go sit down behind a desk for, 8 hours and then go home and be content. I'm not a person that can be content with anything, right? Like we gotta be constantly moving and trying to grow something. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, something has to be get better. There's always room to get better.
Right. What you just said kind of embodies like the kind of people we look for, the kind of players we look for at Baseball United. The team first, the vision first, the dream first type players. Because in order to grow the game the way we want to, we need players like that.
I'm just saying, you gotta be in the community. We gotta show like we're not just going out there for ourselves. If the community doesn't back it, we don't have anything.
Right.
Right? Like you have to get businesses, community, fans. You have to put fans in the seats, right? Like it is all a bigger picture. So you have to surround it with people who are willing to be a part of that same vision. Surround it with people who are going to be out in the community and showcasing Baseball United, your brand, whatever it might be, with good personality, a people person, like fan friendly, works well with kids, whatever it might be. You have to have those. I feel like that's why Cash is so all everybody right in Baseball United is so strict on who they bring in, picking certain people.
Hmm.
It's not just go get the best players; they can get any players to go through, but bring people over there to represent and showcase the brand in the right way.
The high character type players.
Correct.
Right. Courtney, you also your name's actually etched in the history of Baseball United forever. You actually got the first ever hit. You recorded it during the All-Star Showcase. So bring me into that moment, just a little reflection on not notching the first hit.
Goes back to what I said earlier, right? And going for a homer, going for you know, a double. Everybody want to see me hit a homer, right? Like that's what everybody talks about. And I understand like people love the long ball. But if I go up there like looking for it, it doesn't happen all the time. Like
Right.
for me, it's going up there. I wasn't sitting there trying like, let me try to get the first hit. Let me try to get the first homer. I'm going up there like there's a white backdrop. I can't see this ball very well. Fine barrel. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Like fine barrel. And then ended up getting it. It worked out. But try to simplify things so you don't have that pressure or like that push.
Courtney, so during the showcase, it was kind of obviously there were two different teams play. It was like we said, more of a showcase, not really super competitive, more to just show the world that baseball is coming to that part of the world. Right
Right.
now, in a couple weeks in February at the UAE Series, this is the first time our franchises are on the ground. First time they're going to be competing head to head. First time the fans get to kind of experience that franchise type baseball, get to kind of decide if they want to root for the Wolves or root for the Falcons or root for you, root for Pablo Sandoval, connect with these players. So it's super important. And so I just want to know, how excited are you to participate in that? And what are you looking forward to most?
Man, there's so many things. Again, I tell people, everybody who asks me about Dubai, I tell them it's unreal, right? Number one, it's the city, everything, the country itself, like beautiful, right? But the atmosphere and what it's trying to be, you see the architecture, you see just the atmosphere, right? Like
Yeah.
you, where we were staying, driving to the field, seeing the cricket stadiums, like learning the culture, like just it's unreal. All right, so now to be able to put on the Dubai Wolves uniform, right? And they get their Falcons. You have the Cobras. You have everybody gets to be in their uniform now.
Mhm.
Like you have something that you're pushing for a little more now.
Right. Exactly. And also, Courtney, you haven't had the chance to see it in person yet, but Baseball United Ballpark, brand new. How pumped are you to get on the field, see
Huge,
it, and compete on
huge.
that?
That's definitely a big one, right? Been seeing everything on social media, all the content. Like, obviously, Baseball United's content is unreal. That's something that people talk about on the regular. But just seeing the field itself come together that quick, the amount of work that was put in to get it up and going, right? It was impressive.
Right. Right.
Excited to see it.
Courtney, so in the off season, you also give hitting lessons. Is that accurate?
Do a few things. Train kids. Absolutely. Train kids. Do a lot in the collegiate softball side of things as well. Have a summer league. And then sports construction, KMI sports construction, do build outs of sports fields, designs, everything.
Oh, nice. Very cool. So when Courtney, when you're talking to these kids, you're instilling your wisdom upon them. What are some of these key lessons that you're talking to them about, which I'm sure could transfer to the youth in the Middle East and South Asia, just learning the game?
Biggest snaps of everybody. You have guys like Pablo, Cano, guys who've been around 20 years, 30 years, you know what I mean? Like, and I tell them, you got to think about this. You have guys who making hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And y'all are getting upset about not being able to figure out a movement or to hit a ball flush every time. Why do we train every offseason? Why do we hit every day? We do this year after year after year, and you're constantly working, right? Like, those dads sitting there throwing BP to us, and he's still talking about what he didn't like and what he needs to fix or what he wants to change, right? We're constantly always working to be better. So if you have people who are making hundreds of millions doing this year after year after year since we were 4, 5, 6 years old, and you've been doing it, you're only 8 years old, you're 10 years old, you've been doing it for a couple of years. You think you're going to get it in 1 hour or 4 hours or 1 month, 2 years? Like, it's year after year that we actually were working daily, right? Like,
Right.
it's every single day. It doesn't happen that fast.
Right.
For some people, a certain movement, certain feel, whatever, it might happen, but it's a constant working feel. And then as you get older, as your body changes, injuries, whatever might happen, you might have to change again because your body is going to move differently. So it's a constant change. Just because you got something 1 year, you might grow 6 inches, you might gain 40 pounds, whatever might happen. It's going to be a constant change. You have to understand that it's going to come. So just making sure all my kids understand that it doesn't happen overnight. Even the parents, not just the kids, sometimes more so the parents, right?
Yep.
It's not that easy,
Right.
right?
It's a slow progression over time.
For sure. There's not a kid out there that's trying to fail.
Right.
They're not trying to swing and miss. They're not trying to not do good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So understand, just hit the ball. It doesn't work.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Nobody wants to fail. So just understanding that this is a craft, right? This is a true profession of what you're trying to do, profession of your craft. It takes time and you got to keep putting the time in.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. It's not going to happen overnight.
Courtney, as we start to wrap up here, what's your message to the fans in the Middle East and South Asia who are anxiously awaiting you guys to come back over and start competing on the ground there?
If there's any type of doubts, whether if it's going to last or if we're actually going to want to come out there, whatever it might be, I would say come out, see for yourself, interact with us, be a part of it, engage in the environment that has been put together for it, and they won't doubt it anymore, right? They won't question it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see what we're trying to do. They're going to be there. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to have fun, and it's going to make everybody else want to be a part of it. It's going to be the same way it is here in the States or in Japan or in Mexico, all these other countries that they pack out these games because of the environment and what they feel when they go to the games. They start having fan favorites, right? Because of the interactions they have or because you did something or said something or your walkout song, whatever it might be.
Right. The memories they make.
They clicked with that person that for some reason, whatever it was something that you did, it got locked in there and that's what they remember, right? So every person is different. So come out, like we got people from all over the world that you can get to pick from that you might interact with that some might love, right? Come out, see it. And with the people that we have there, it's going to be easy for people to want to come back.
And guys, if you want to go see the UAE Series, see Courtney participate in it live, you can get your tickets right now exclusively on Platinumlist. Again, that's February 14th to the 16th. You can get your tickets exclusively on Platinumlist. Courtney Hawkins, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. See y'all soon.